Hello everyone, welcome to the another video for building the application in a React using the Spring Boot. So I am building the Spring Boot REST in web services. So far what we have is we have these customers here and customers returning a test. So if you go in entity, we create an entity, we create the customers, and in controller we have nothing. It's just returning a test. So let's add the post method. So before I add the post method, as we know that we use a JPA. So to use a JPA as a ORM, so we have to use the something called repository. So in the repository, so let's create some repository here. So let's directly create the interface. So we need to create an interface called com.crm, the repositories, and we will tell them what repository it is. So we will tell them this is a customer repository app. It's an interface, so we need to extend this as a JPA. So JPA is a Java persistent API, and so on this one we have to tell here what is this. So this is a customer, this is going to be the object, and the ID primary key we have the integer type. So once we did this, we import this entity from this packages, and now our JPA is fine. So we can use a lot of functions here. In fact, we could also declare our own method right here. We could also do a raw queries to the database from using this JPA. So for now we are only doing the CRUD. So let's go back to this. Now let's create the services. So our services will create the call the JPA. So this is going to be our services. So what services is a customer service. So we'll just tell them that this is a customer service, and let's go com the crm dot customers. Sorry, it's going to be our services. All right. So now we have a services. So we'll tell the Spring Boot that this is a service. So when we do component scan, it's going to scan this as well. So we need to use the repository here. So we use something called AutoWire for our dependency injection. So we will tell here that we need to use a customer. So customer repository, and this is going to be a customer repository. Okay, so we'll call the customer repository. Now what we do here is we'll tell them that we will get this the list of the before we do a list, yeah, we will do a list of the customer here, and we will get all customer. So basically this is nothing, we'll just return the customer repository. So customer repository has a lot of functions we could use if I spell this correctly. Okay, see, we could also initiate our own method here, but for now we are only using find all. We need to import this list as well. It doesn't know what is a list, and it doesn't know what is a customer. So once we did this, now we created this. Now let's create another functions here. Let's create the add customer. So this is going to be add a new customer. All right, so customer will receive the customer object, and what it's gonna do is it's gonna save this customer. That's all it's gonna do. It's gonna take this and it's gonna save in a database based on the customer what we have. So instead of this, it will only return one customer that is currently being saved. So now our service is ready. Now let's go to this repository, not a controller, and we will implement the services in a controller. So here we will returning the list of this customer. So we'll just tell that, okay, we are returning the list of the customer, and we are getting the list from the services. So we also need to do a dependency injection one more time here, and we will do using a auto wire, and we will tell them to get this customer service, SCR customer service from that package we just created. So once we have this customer service, we'll tell that customer service to use that get all function, which will return the list of the customer. So get all functions. So this is good. So I'll just copy this guy and put it another one, and we'll just tell now do a post function. So we instead of do, we'll just do post. So this will add a customer. So basically this will add a customer, and this add customer will get the customer. All right, so this will give the customer, and this will return the customer recently being added, and it will call the add customer functions from the service, and that will take the customer. And we also need to tell that Spring that this is just validate this guy, and we also need to tell that this is a response body, request body, yeah, request body. So now this will take as a JSON object, and this will add a JSON object inside this guy. So if I refresh now, it will give me the one error, and let's see. Oh, okay, the one error is we use the JPA, but Spring doesn't know that JPA is being used. So we have to initiate it, the application to tell that JPA is being currently used. To do that, we have to go to the main class, and we have to enable the JPA repository. So JPA repository, and we will tell the JPA any repository to look for that these packages, and that package they will look for that packages. And yeah, if I go here now, it will give me the empty array. So now I go to the postman to test my web services. I already has this tested here. So now if I send this guy, it will add the new data. So if I refresh, it will give me the new data. If I add in one more time, it will give me the new ID with the same data. All right, so name, date of birth, and credit limit. I add like several times, doesn't even matter how many times I added. It will give me the more data here. So our the add service and our get service is already been ready. Now we have to use the edit and delete services. Now to do that, I'm gonna create this on the next video. So keep watching. All right, thank you very much.